What are things that you guys like about the Pitt Center?
I think the Pitt Center has gotten a lot better with the addition of the new weights downstairs. I think it's made it more, at least in regards to our athletic teams, however many Division I teams we have, I think it's made it a higher standard. Like, it meets the standards of a Division I team, but like the old one was horrible. But you know, getting new weights, getting strength and conditioning programs made it more Division I-E, if that makes sense.
Anyone else?
And the new study hall area is really nice too. It's better than what they used to have.
I agree. I like that a lot, actually. No one.
I like it better because they have like individual study rooms. Before it was just a big table, so now it's like gets athletes to come study and actually do their homework.
I also think the display with the awards and stuff is important because like before they were on like a broken shelf in like a hallway, and now like it's actually on display that we have successful teams here and that like Sacred Heart's on the map for being a good athletic school.
And feeding off of that, I think for one, like for the athletes, when we walk in, like we can see that and we can feel proud, like to be a Division I team, but also for the recruits coming in, that's the first thing they see when they walk in our athletic building, which is good.
Anyone else?
I think is the turf a part of the Pitt Center? Like getting the new turf, I feel like that was a good addition because our old turf was just absolutely terrible. It was like cement with like a thin layer of turf on top, and now it's like an actual turf field that everyone can play on and not get turf burn every time you fall over. So I think that was another good addition to the Pitt Center.
Okay. And what are things that you don't like about the Pitt Center?
The fact that we have one field for all sports, and that we have to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, 5 a.m. every morning, because that's the only time we can have practice. And the equipment room, I think, like, it's kind of unorganized in that, like, sometimes, like, I know we're, like, in our off-season, but, like, our laundry loops sometimes don't get washed, they sometimes do get washed, and, like, if I need something, it's not always open, and they don't have, like, set hours.
On top of that, I feel like it's so like constricted because we have so many teams, and like it hasn't changed in the 5 years that I've been here. It's like it's not like a center for athletes; it's a center for all Sacred Heart. So it's like you're in there and you're sharing everything with non-athletes. And while I'm not saying it would be unfair for us to do it with non-athletes, it's just like we have so many Division I teams that sharing everything with the NARPs is just tough.
And even I've heard non-athletes complain about not wanting to come in and work out because there's no room, like you take up all the racks, and they're intimidated by Coach Fee, and like, I don't know, so I think it would be helpful if there was 2 separate gyms, because that's how it is at every other Division I school, and I think that sets us down, the standards down.
I'd like to complain about my team's locker room. I don't know about any of the other sports, but I'm pretty sure that everyone has their own locker room for team. Wrestling team actually has to share it with the volleyball team, and that kind of messes everything up. We get into fights a lot of who's dirty and who's like clean, and everyone's stuff gets mixed up, and it's just a mess, and it shouldn't be like that for any D1 athletic school. I mean, separation would be nice.
Anyone else? How does it compare to other schools that you visited or played at?
I mean, the biggest thing is that it's just one facility, like one field. I know like every other place that I've been, there's multiple fields, and that just makes it easier for, like you were saying earlier, like all the practice times, like you're not constricted to that one time space where like if some storm's coming through and like it's on your time, like if you can't have practice then, if you're just saying, oh, well, let's wait for the storm and like let's just go to 4 to 6 if we were 1 to 3. And, like you don't really have that convenience to push it back.
Like it's, sorry,
I mean, size is pretty much the main factor. I mean, we are kind of a smaller school, compared to a lot of other major Division I schools. But it would be nice to see some like just expansion in general.
I also think it would be nice to expand on the actual stadium itself because me being a freshman here, I almost get the feel of almost like a high school atmosphere with just the two bleachers and some of the other stadiums that we've traveled to this year, such as Dartmouth or some of the bigger schools. They actually have more of a stadium feel, so I feel like that could be expanded.
And like we traveled to Fairfield and they just redid their turf just like we did, but they got like a nice big scoreboard and it like has videos on it and we don't have that at all.
Even to have a jumbotron just to get the crowd involved, like you can, I mean, you
Like a
could
screen.
exactly,
Yeah.
like you could just show pictures, like show
Yeah.
videos of them, like
Just-
they'll be excited to be up there. So
Yeah.
Given our space issue here at Sacred Heart, how do you think they should go about improving our athletic facilities?
I don't I don't mean any disrespect to the football team, but like when there's a game like in the middle of the day, or like on Saturday, sometimes they like block the whole parking off, and like we get up at 5 for practice, and we're at the school at 5:20, and like there's nowhere to park, and then like the pit doors are locked, and like it's just like the parking is so much has like a lot to do with it too. Like we can't even find a spot to get to practice where like people are late because they're running around the school trying to get in after parking like across campus. It's like I forgot that has to do with pit.
Aren't they planning? They're planning on getting Jewish Home to be a new gym, right? So I think that
Something
will
like that.
really improve things because it's going to give people somewhere else to work out. So I think they're like starting to make steps in the right direction, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that needs to be done.
So basically just not soon enough.
Takes
We won't be
time,
here,
and
so.
I just think it would make the school like look better as a whole, like because we're gonna be alumni pretty soon. So like I just think it would look better for like non-athletes too. Like when you go down the stairs, you just see kind of like a mess of cubbies, and you're kind of like, oh, like that's where the non-athletes put their stuff. Like even like with respect to them, like they might work out just as hard as Division I athletes, and they don't even have a respective space for them. Like I just feel like it should be even on both sides. And with the space issue, like yeah, it takes time, but I think it's like a bigger issue than they might think.
Okay. Would you say the pit provides all the necessary equipment that you need when working out? Even though I know you have like set workouts to do,
Does
but
that
like
include parking? Because the parking at the pit center is the worst thing of all time. Like if we have practice at 1, you get to practice at 11:30 and there's nowhere to park. It's so frustrating. Like yeah, it's so aggravating. Just. Am I the only one who that?
No.
We share a
I just
parking
want
lot
to make
with the
sure that I'm
admissions
not
building.
alone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the worst.
And the therapeutic center, the PT center, the admissions, and the pit center is all one parking lot.
Yeah, they've been coning off the spots in Curtis Hall out the past couple of days, which
Yeah.
is really frustrating, to say the least.
what about equipment wise, like downstairs or
I
even
think-
upstairs?
I feel like we just barely have enough, like with the gym, like there's just enough racks, I feel like, and like, I know sometimes when we're doing workouts, there's like, if we're using like 20-pound dumbbells, they're like, there's 2 instead of, and then like we all have to wait on a line to use them compared to like other places.
Feet doesn't make first line.
Yeah.
It's just like, it feels so cramped because it's like,
Exactly.
I guess one of the things about being a part of like a successful team or like one of the building blocks of being a successful team is like the feeling of having like a team in all aspects of the things that you do. So like you want to train as a team, things like that. It's hard to train as a team when there's a bunch of non-athletes using the dumbbells or they're standing all around you or working out all around you. It's just like, it takes away from the sense that like you're there as a team, like you should be doing this as a team. There's people that you don't even know who could care less about what you're doing, like working out all around you.
I think it like brings the respect down too, because
Yeah.
we all think it's a joke for Division I. Other schools must think worse of us. So, and I was
We're
just
like
like,
devalued.
we're a D1 team, but like look at everything we have compared to what should be.
mean, there are definitely schools that like have it way worse. Like we went to Manhattan in like the Bronx, and their locker rooms just looked like public bathrooms at like a high school kind of. And like, I mean, it was the visitors' room, but like it was like concrete. There was water dripping. Like, I mean, like it could definitely be worse. I think it's like good to note that like we do have it pretty good given how bad it could be, but like they know like how fast the school is growing, and like with how high our tuition is, like I just feel like sometimes the decisions they make like aren't the wisest, I guess.
Do you feel the strength and conditioning staff is helpful and motivating?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Very.
Yeah.
Coach V won't see this, I promise.
I know before Coach V was here, we had Gary. I don't know if you guys know Gary, as our
He's a
lift
black belt.
coach, and we literally did the same lift like the whole week for the whole entire year. And we would show up to lift, and he was like, "I didn't know you were coming in today," or he literally wouldn't show up when we had to lift. And before a game, we would be like squatting 1 RM. So it was just a mess. And this year, and last year, it's like so different. And I think he changed a lot of it for the good.
Yeah, if you would have told me when I was getting recruited here and I decided to come here that we'd have like a full-on strength and conditioning program, I would have told you were crazy, because it was like the weight room was a piece of crap. Like we had a coach from like Blue Streak who showed up like twice a week. Like we used to have to print out our own workouts. It was bad. And now it's like we have an unbelievable coach and unbelievable GAs that have just like the success of our team is aided by having a dedicated strength and conditioning program. Just like they have a workout for every single team, so every player gets their own specific workout, and it goes a long way in making the team successful.
Yeah, I feel like they put like 100% in like every workout we do, and they like form it for like our specific sport.
They like make you feel like yeah, important. Like with all like the facility issues and stuff, like no matter what, like these coaching staffs, like they make you like feel like a winner, like regardless of your record and how shitty your locker room situation is, like they'll make you feel good about yourself. Like, it's good to have that backbone.
And I think it makes you want to perform that much more. Since they're putting in all of their time, your like specific strength coach is putting in all of his time, then you're gonna obviously respect that and say, okay, this is what I'm here to do. Let's get it done, and then you do it.
Okay. How are your experiences with the athletic training staff? Like, what do you like and what would you improve?
I think they're pretty well educated, but I think we need more of them because it's very short staffed, and you go in and sometimes your trainer's not there. And like I know for us, we don't have a trainer in the fall, so if someone gets hurt at 6 a.m. we have to call public safety, and like that's a big issue because last year someone literally like stopped breathing and we had to wait a half hour for public safety to come call an ambulance. So sometimes I think they need to hire more people.
I know like sometimes, I know like because we share a trainer with football, so like when right before their practice is sometimes when we have our treatment, and it's just like there's so many people in there and you don't even have a table to stretch on. So
Yeah, I think there needs to be more tables.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tables would help.
honestly, like as a part of the football team, I feel bad for the other teams, because when the football team has practice, it's like there's like 10 tables and there's 10 tables taken up by football players, and there's 10 lines taken up by football players. So it's like I just feel bad because it's like our training room's so small and there's so many guys on our team, and like football is like a physical sport and guys are always hurt. They're just taking up so much space and like time and resources of the training staff that it would just be better if we had either a bigger training room, more trainers to help everyone instead of like just one team.
Yeah, we just have that like little rug area to like stretch out on, and if 2 people are on there, you have to go in the hallway.
Yeah.
And yeah, like off of that, just like the expanded room, like, and like I feel like to be like a successful college athlete, like recovery is like the biggest thing, because we work so hard every single day, and then we have games on our off days, whatever. So like there should be like a separate facility. Like our ice bath looks like something you store beer in on the weekend. Like I don't even know what it is, and there's only 2 of them, and they're like 70 degrees. But like, so I think maybe like just like a whole separate room for recovery would be like nice.
So true.
That's very
So true. You can tell that like the trainers like try and do all that they can,
Yeah.
but like they can only do so much with the facilities that they have, and like they try and move through all the people. But, like when there's so many people there and there's so limited space,
Yeah.
and there's only so much they could do.
Yeah.
Ice baths would be nice though.
Like there's schools that have like a room that's just like a
Like
Whirlpool.
jacuzzis.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pool would be
like I'll be in
awesome.
it like when someone on your team just dumps their ice bag like on my shoulder. Okay.
I think you bring up a good point though with the pool. Like I know I had surgery and like my trainer wanted to do like a lot of like rehab in the pool. Like we don't have one, so like we had to kind of make do without it.
Yeah.
We should
But-
definitely have one.
It's like it's so limited, like what you can do. It's
Yeah.
so, like there's one rug that you can roll out on.
Yeah,
like-
so true though.
like-
And one bike.
yeah.
Like if they build out the pit, like they can't. It needs to be like all like together. Like if they give us another gym for athletes, like they need to give us like another area to recover, and like they can't just give us a nice gym and a nice turf, but then
Yeah.
when we work hard in there, we have nowhere to go after to feel better. Like I personally, like I don't go to treatment just because it's a hassle and it ends up hurting me in the long run, physically.
There's 32 teams and we have like 8 trainers and a room that's big enough for like 20 people. Yeah, like it's just
Multi-purpose, how can you fit?
yeah, it's just it's not that like the trainers don't do a good job. It's just they're so under resourced and
Yeah.
They probably have the same complaints we do.
yeah.
Is that it? Okay. Are there any other final thoughts you guys have? No? Well, thank you for helping us.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.